He had her sticking stuff up in my homegirl. She was only 11 years old. She the girl that they put on the private jet. The jelly beans. They put on the private jet. They took her to the studio in New York, and then had to dress her up in a D&G sweater, do her hair, put makeup on her, and take a picture like a trophy. She only 11 years old in that picture, and that's not allegedly.
SM Presents, a story so dark, it could shatter the illusion of fame. What you're about to hear is not just disturbing, it's the kind of story that makes you question everything you thought you knew about your favorite celebrities. Brace yourself. This story is deeply disturbing and could completely change how you view some of the most powerful names in music and entertainment. A woman named Audria English, who has been speaking out against Sean Diddy Combs, is now making even more shocking allegations, this time involving Jennifer Lopez. Audria, who once worked within Diddy's inner circle, recently gave a sit-down interview revealing what she claims happened behind closed doors. Her account is not only hard to believe, it's hard to ignore. One of her most alarming claims involves a young girl, just 11 years old, who she says was brought into Diddy's world in ways that would horrify anyone. According to Audria, the child was flown on a private jet, lured with candy, and taken to a studio in New York. Once there, she says the girl was dressed in designer clothes, had her hair and makeup done, and was posed and photographed like some sort of prize. This wasn't just an innocent appearance at a party. Audria made it clear. It didn't feel right. It felt like something else. What makes the story even more serious is the alleged involvement of Jennifer Lopez. Audria didn't accuse JLO of criminal activity, but she claimed Lopez left the country during this time and later was seen closely interacting with the young girl. This raised disturbing questions. Why was a child being flown around, styled like a celebrity, and mingling with top-tier entertainers? Audria also described a moment that left many horrified. She said the same girl was later featured in a magazine spread, lying on a table surrounded by fruit, styled like a human centerpiece. Even more shocking, Audria confessed to eating a strawberry off the girl's body. At the time, the girl was only 14 years old. Audria said people were misled into thinking the child was older because she appeared mature, but it quickly became clear that she was still a minor. And by that point, she says, the damage was already done. These allegations, if true, point to something far more sinister than anyone imagined.
And then the same girl,
JLO was messing around with.
man, so many. I drop names on the neck, man. We talking about Diddy right now. But yeah. And then that's the same girl that in the magazine is laying on the table with food and stuff off of her, and we all eating off of her. I sucked the strawberry off her. She 14 years old laying on that table. She had a body like a grown woman. You don't think anybody's looking at that thinking that's a kid laying there. You're assuming it's a grown woman. So he made everybody be with a minor, against your will, and he recording the shit. Same girl needed to do a number 2 on stage. She performing. She told him, I need to get off stage. I need you to battle. He told her no. She ended up shitting on stage. It was a went everywhere. And Denzel Washington grabbed up his wife, mobbed up to Diddy, and was like, man, you don't respect nobody. Had to run up out there.
There was another disturbing moment Audria English mentioned in her interview, one that left a lasting impression on everyone who witnessed it. She recalled a live show where the same young girl, allegedly tied to Diddy's inner circle, was performing on stage. During the event, the child reportedly asked to leave the stage to use the restroom, but her request was denied. According to Audria, the girl ended up having an accident right there on stage, creating a shocking and humiliating scene. What made the moment even more intense was who was in the audience. Audria claimed that Denzel Washington and his wife were in attendance, and after witnessing the incident, they immediately stood up and left the event. The situation reportedly caused a major stir, and Diddy, she says, was furious afterward. He allegedly scolded the girl harshly and, in the days that followed, refused to let her use soap, allowing her only to bathe in water. Again, none of this has been legally confirmed, but these are the serious claims being made. As the interview continued, Audria dropped even more names, hinting that many public figures, some still celebrities, others now in politics, were present during these disturbing years. She repeatedly emphasized that it all happened 20 years ago, possibly suggesting that people do change, but also standing firm in her truth. She said, "Please don't call me a liar. If you weren't there, don't say it didn't happen." And that statement struck a chord, because if even a fraction of what she's saying is true, it suggests this story runs far deeper than anyone imagined. But here's where things get complicated. These are still unverified allegations. Jennifer Lopez has not responded to the new claims, and while Diddy is already dealing with multiple legal battles, none of these recent accusations have yet resulted in official charges. Still, the public is paying attention, and more voices are starting to come forward. Audria also said the now-grown girl wants DNA tests on 2 of Diddy's children, another bold claim that hasn't been verified, but suggests this situation may stretch even further than expected. This story is still developing. No charges have been filed against JLO or others mentioned. But one thing is clear, Audria's words can't be unheard, and this conversation is only beginning.